Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final video of tonight. It is the last word where we're talking about Newcastle's performance against Leeds, and it's another defeat yet again. Yes, hello everyone. How you doing? He's all right. So I hope you've been enjoying the coverage on the channel tonight. This is the wrap up. So thank you very much for all of you guys for coming as well and watching. Please keep your comments coming in and we'll read them out a little bit later. But this is the last word. So we'll be talking about, of course, the lineups, the performance of the players, the incidents, Steve Bruce, as we always do as well. We'll check on the league table. We've got a clip of Danny Mills, who thinks Newcastle players and Newcastle fans, should be bonkers if they want rid of Steve Bruce after that performance, in particular second half. One half of performance, and he thinks Steve Bruce should stay. Fucking weirdo. But yeah, we'll touch upon that very, very shortly. And then we've also got a clip from Brandon as well, who has sent in his thoughts about tonight's game against Leeds United. So let's crack on with it then. Right. Okay, so we'll begin with the opposition, Leeds United. We seen Meslier come back. There was a lot of concern with Leeds fans about if Casilla would start, because obviously he's prone to errors, but the young French lad was back in, and Llorente come back in as well. Obviously, he was substituted quite early on in the first half. Some talented players. We've mentioned Rafinha in the pre-matchup build-up for the watch-along and in the preview last night. He's a player that I really like, scored today, which we'll touch upon. Bamford's been scoring goals for fun. Harrison loves a goal against us. So yeah, they've got talent. They really have got talent, and especially the high press that they're playing. Bielsa really in your face, and they're not afraid to attack. So it wasn't to be a surprise that Leeds went with a 4-1-4-1. Sorry, so 4-1-4-1 that Leeds play with. Phillips obviously sitting there, holding in midfield. But we'll take a look at next at what Newcastle went with, and again, we know that Darlow's obviously currently first choice at the moment. But I wanted to touch upon the right wing back situation. We keep changing our right back / right wing back every week, and not quite sure why Bruce keeps doing it, because you've got two right backs in Kraft and Manquillo on the bench, and you think to yourself, well, he's just got no confidence, whoever plays there, because we've seen obviously the three right backs that we've got at the club. We've seen Murphy play there. We've seen Hayden play there. So it's a bit strange how no one can nail a position to keep playing. Maybe Yedlin might be playing if the club actually sorted out his visa, which is just weird in itself, how the club kind of sort that situation out. It's a joke, to be honest. Isaac Hayden at centre-back once again, because Bruce is petrified of teams, and he's got Fabian Schär and Jamal Lascelles alongside him, and 5 at home, when you would think, like, you haven't won in 10 games, you need a result, but yet you still want to go 5 at the back. I mean, I've seen that lineup before. I'm puzzled by that. Why isn't Isaac Hayden in centre midfield? Because let's face it, our centre midfield at the minute is atrocious at the minute. Doesn't matter who's playing there at the moment. Nobody, again, is nailing the centre midfield down for me. John Joe Shelby and Jeff Hendrick were in midfield. Those two performances were very, very poor once again. Miguel Miron, Fraser, and Wilson, which I was a lot more happy about seeing those three instead of Joe Litton in that side. Obviously, Joe Litton has not played for 2 games now. Shock. But yeah, Miguel Miron, Ryan Fraser, who I thought was very bright. And when we've seen the lineup and then it started to come out, it was like Almiron's on the left-hand side, and like Fraser was more in this advanced role that he had going in the lineup. So it was intriguing to see how Fraser were getting. Obviously, Almiron's been shouting on to play in the number 10 all season. Fraser had that opportunity to be the most advanced centre midfielder out of him, Hendrick, and Shelby. So intriguing to see how that would work. And I thought Fraser was very, very bright first half, but Newcastle didn't start very, very well in that first half. Obviously, it was coming to the second half very shortly. We'll read out your comments once they get the halfway stage, but lackluster first half, same old. You're not really shocked by Newcastle how we play at the minute. It's shit. It's park the bus. Leeds come flying at us and they thoroughly deserve the goal. But once again, it's mistakes that cost us because it's Jacob Murphy who loses the ball and he gets picked on twice tonight, Murphy, because he loses the ball. Leeds are running an attack and they throw bodies forward. The ball is played to the right-hand side. The ball is then cut back. But the key moment is about that ball getting cut back is Jamal Lewis is not looking behind him with his runner, Rafinha. What Rafinha's very clever does, he pulls back. He pulls his run back towards the edge of the box. Lewis keeps running. The ball is obviously played back to the Brazilian who fires a bottom corner. So just a small little tweak in his run give Leeds a goal. And of course, Murphy giving the ball away. Lewis is poor marking as well. And I thought Jamal Lewis was fucking shocking tonight. So many defensive awareness out of position, loads of time tonight. And it's a concern for the young lad. And I didn't want to pick on him heavily because he's only been in the club 6 months. But the last couple of months, his performances have been really worrying for me. And if you want to go safe, I would probably go, if you are going to play wing backs, which I don't agree with, by the way, but if you are going to play wing backs, play Matt Ritchie there. He's a lot more safer than Jamal Lewis for me. I think Jamal Lewis will come good, but there's too many problems there for me, and that's just one position I could go through loads as well. And as I mentioned, Fraser was very, very bright. That cross that came in, where Wilson doesn't get on the end of it and Murphy tries to get on. It's a beautiful cross. We've been crying out for crosses like that. And obviously, Murphy takes out the goalkeeper and knocks him out. But that was one sign. Like, what a cross that I said in the watch line. What a cross that was to whip it in. And it's like, can we have more of that, please? You know, if we can keep Fraser fit all season, get crosses in like that. And there was half chances and shots that were going wide. And when we were coming up towards half time, we didn't have any shots on target, but at least there was attempts, I guess, is the only real positive that he'd come out with that first half, but it was still poor because Leeds were dominating it. Leeds were dominating all of it, and you know they're causing us problems. And this is what you can see on your picture here. This is where Rafinha hits the actual post, and it goes out for a goal kick. But Leeds thoroughly deserved to go in front. But what can you say about it? It's the same old story with Newcastle, but the only positive that I could take is that we were still in the game going into half time. That's the only thing, the only 1-0 up. We could maybe get something back from it if you know the hope that kills you, as they say. But let's have a look at your comments before we pause and we'll move on to the second half as well. Evening Thomas, thank you very much. Danny Mills is deluded. We'll play his clip very, very shortly as well. Thomas says we need Brussels and sprouts out now. Mike Ashley is the Brussels, Brucey is the sprouts. I thought Brussels was a cabbage though. Kevin Scott says he's heard Danny Mills talking before the game, like many pundits, doesn't have a clue. Just makes a generic comment, says Kevin as well. At least we had some passion and grit in the second half. Keith, I would agree it's a lot better in the second half. And why do people listen to TalkSport anymore? No other radio stationized. Manquillo has to play there. I think Manquillo is the best out of the bad bunch in that right back position. And his Darlow first choice shouldn't be. Made a mess of the last match. Dubravka might be coming back. Who knows? Maybe Bruce changes it. But it's a little bit harsh on Darlow. I still feel that as well. I thought we played a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, it was very interesting. Oscar's made a fantastic point there because what was happening, and I'm sure you've seen this, is that when we were in possession, we actually changed formation. And I said it in the watch, and I was like, fuck me, Steve Bruce has got an idea, because we were playing 5 at the back without the ball. But when we had the ball, Hayden actually moved to right back, and that pushed Murphy on. And when we didn't have the ball, Hayden would then come into that right centre-back role, and Murphy would then be a right wing-back. So we were actually playing 2 different formations with, and I thought Hayden done all right, you know. I thought he went past his man a couple of times, a little flick going past his man. But it was interesting to see Bruce change it, at least. He was tweaking little things. It was intriguing to see, will he go with that? I just don't want to say 5 at the back, or not when your job's on the line and you can with 5 at the back. Why not go and attack? And I know we'll come on the second half now. It was, of course, a lot better as well. Let's talk about it. Obviously, Leeds fan Paul Smith is in the comments there saying first half was us, second half was all you. I thought we were poor and you were better than I expected. Could have got a draw. Something to build on, question mark. It is something to build on. I actually feel that I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't get a point, and that's mad saying that because of the second half's performance, because we were a lot better. But where's it been? Where's that been for the last 6 months? All season, we've only really playing like that 3 games maximum that I can think. But we'll go into the second half because, you know, we're looking for some changes, and we got a goal, and I went wild on the watch along. I couldn't help myself because we haven't scored for since Leicester, and that was last year. Was that last year? I'm sure that was last year. But Miggy, a fantastic build-up play. Wilson, credit with the assist as well. And I have to say, Callum Wilson was pretty quiet tonight. I don't think he was poor, but I think he was quiet tonight. But Miggy got his goal, and I actually thought when he struck it that the goalkeeper actually went to save it over the bar. When it hit him, I thought he'd saved it, but luckily it went to the back of the net. I was so relieved. I was so happy, and I thought, right, we're back in it. We scored a goal. Almiron scored it. Now's the time to go on and win this game. But we didn't even keep the lead for long. Obviously, I know ASM came on, which we'll talk about in a second about ASM. But I thought, right, we've got the goal. But again, right, we're on a high. We've equalised because we didn't score many goals. We're on a high. Keep your shit together. We can go on and win this game because this game was there for the taking in that second half tonight. It fucking was. Because I'm disappointed that we haven't got at least a point from tonight. And I haven't said that the last few times I've done the last word. But we can't concentrate. And Jacob Murphy is out of position. Harrison is free, who scored that wonder goal at Ellen Road against her. He's miles free. And it's a great finish again. I think the lad is a little bit unsure that he's offside or not because he doesn't really celebrate. But it's a great finish, and it's 2-1 Leeds. And we only equalised. Only level for 5 minutes, and Leeds gone 2-1 up, and you think, God, all that work that you've been doing going forward is undone. And Alan Saint-Maximin obviously came on. Alan Saint-Maximin, when he was bright. It gave us a different dimension going forward. So that's, you've got to give credit a little bit to Steve Bruce. I am saying it for that change because he didn't do it in the 80th minute. He did it a lot earlier in the what was it, the 60? It was just after the hour mark, 65. Or something like that, when Maximum came on and he was going through, he was losing the ball quite a bit, which I was getting frustrated at. And I felt like he was doing it too much. He was trying to hang on to the ball far too much. However, that changed the dynamics of us in the second half without him coming on and that drive going forward. I think with Alan Saint-Maximin, when he has a bad game, you're going to have to get used to it. When he has a good game, he's a match winner. That's the difference. And he can be also in between that as well. I thought when he came off the bench, he was in between. There was bad moments and there was good moments. And the crucial one for me, the crucial one was Alan Saint-Maximin is bursting through and he plays in Jamal Lewis. I'm thinking, he's in here, hit it. And he balloons it over, man. He balloons that shot way over. And you think to yourself, that is the best chance of that we've got. Cannons it over, man. Just get over and keep it low, drill it. It should have been a goal. Never mind being on target. That should have been a goal. Very, very disappointed in Jamal Lewis's performance, as I say it tonight. But there was obviously a few other chances with Jamal Lascelles' headers. He had a few of them. One of them skimmed the bar. Where there's some free kicks with Fabian Schär. We'll touch about him in a minute. John Joe Shelby, even Dwight Gale, when he came on for the last 10 minutes, had a free kick that went way over. So there was a lot more chances, but I have to point this lad out. I think for me, he's man of the match. Fabian Schär tonight taught John Joe Shelby and taught Jeff Hendrick how to actually fucking attack. We've been crying out for a box-to-box midfielder for years at the club. For years, a goal-scorer midfielder since really Kevin Nolan, maybe the last goal scorer. Not creative player, actual goal scorer, because we don't have a box-to-box midfielder. And he was just driving forward, even going back to the first half, that outside the boot ball and Murphy was world-class. And then that second half, he was outstanding for me. He was absolutely like the Fabian Schär of old. And he thought, you know what? I'm going to take this game, the scruff of my neck, quite similar to how ASM does it. And he was like, where was Jeff Hendrick, man? Where was Jeff Hendrick second half? He was like a centre-back. Where was he? Barely touched the ball. And credit to Fabian Schär because I've criticised him. Sam's criticised him because we've all said this lad doesn't want to play for Newcastle. If he puts in performances like that, and obviously he had a few shots going forward, it's like a new signing, as some people might say. But fantastic performance from Fabian Schär for me. I'm really, really pleased about him. Yes, he could touch up with these little touches and defensive capabilities he can't touch on, but it's going forward, bursting through, man. Bursting through that midfield is what we want, is what we need. We need goal scorer. Like I say, he's teaching Jeff Hendrick and John Joe Shelby one or two things because they're not mobile enough for me in that midfield. None of them are. For me, that was a Matty Longstaff game, energetic midfielder bursting about. That's the perfect game. And again, Leeds are very, very poor and set pieces, which was seen again, evidence tonight with Jamal Lascelles getting loads of headers. Andy Carroll, you could have chucked him on, was scored at Ellen Road with Kieran Clark with a header. So there were plenty of chances thrown with Leeds tonight, and I generally feel that we've thrown away a point at the very least tonight. The performance was much, much better. Much, much better. But Bruce still has to go. He still has to go. He's got to go. It's 11 games now. And if you look anywhere up and down the leagues, professional levels, where your manager has gone 11 games without any win, he has to go. And I know we say this all the time, but I said this last week, when does that panic button set in? Because, again, we're going to be watching Fulham's result tomorrow. We'll check on the league table in a second, but he's just not good enough. Yes, the second half was better, but how many times can we really say Newcastle played well tonight? I played well tonight in the second half, but I'm talking all season. All season, 2 or 3 games where we've actually really played well. So because we played well tonight, you'll hear all your pundits going on, oh, Steve Bruce, if they perform like that, but we don't do it enough. And we have to do it in this division. Every 10 games, we're going to have to perform 4 or 5 at our very best to get points in this division. But we're only performing 1 out of every probably 15 at the minute. No, I'm being a bit harsh because we've played 2 or 3. We played 19 games. With West Ham was decent, Burnley in spells, maybe Arsenal in the FA Cup. But that's 2 or 3 games. That's not enough. And I think he's very, very fortunate to come away with a few results. And as I was saying in the watch along that was on, that last season, the results were outweighing the performances. But now the performances have caught up with the results now, because there's only so long you can play like that. And it's crap. It's shit at the minute. It's shit. I'm not going wild tonight because I am a lot more happier with the performance. And you're playing Everton, who was a step up from Leeds. That's not being disrespectful to Bielsa's team, but Everton's another level. Everton's going up into a couple of notches, and I fear that we could, again, I'm not confident. Nobody is confident going into games as well. I will touch upon the league table, and we're going to come to what Danny Mills said, because it's kind of pisses off. I want to highlight it because he's stupid. He's thick in the heat. And we'll hear from Brandon as well. But let's have a look at what he's saying in the comments as well. I really think we're going down late, and Bruce is gone. Again, it's all about Fulham, innit? We've got to just watch what Fulham are doing. But that's the worry. We shouldn't have to be doing that. We're fucking crap at the minute. There has to be a change. It has to be said, though, Leeds to flatter teams the way they play. We're still 16, says Sean. Yeah, we'll take a look at the league table. Panic button is glowing red hot, says Martin as well. You're right, Lee. Shea took it up himself to take charge of the match. Taking ownership, that's what it's about. And you didn't really see that from Fabian Schär much. But great, that's one player. Can we have 3 or 4 doing that every game? Montages says, if we didn't have so many injuries, I would like to say Schär in the CDM role, very alive, not afraid to take the ball and run with it. Fabian Schär is a lot better from the 3 in defence as well. I love the passion from Elliot. Deserves a special mention, and I applaud him for it. I made good points on mentioning managers to get in like Lampard, Eddie Howe and Rafa. Yeah, he's talking about the fan reaction show. Elliot just showed proper emotion and passion tonight, and he was on the longest tonight. And if you show that, you'd be given loads of time. So go and check that. It's about 20 minutes in, roughly, about that. Too Mad says, you sound positively. Probably no, I'm not positive. I'm more happy about the second performance. I still want Bruce gone. It's not good enough. 11 games is too much, man. We're sliding down that table as well. Speaking of the table, we may as well check up on that league table where we are currently at the minute then. So thankfully West Brom have actually been walloped tonight. But if you look at that now, Newcastle obviously played the extra 2 more games now than Fulham. So the reason why I'm mentioning Fulham is because obviously that's the dreaded 18th position. Fulham win their 2 games in hand, they're 1 point behind us. 1 point, that's all it is. I know it's very unlikely that they're going to win their 2 games in hand, but even if they get 4 points, that's 3 points behind us. So we shouldn't have to look at Fulham, but we are, because we're so shite at the minute. We're so poor that we have to worry, that we have to look over our shoulder. And that's why Fulham keep getting mentioned, because it's that dreaded 18th position, unfortunately, which we didn't want to drop doing anything. Danny Mills. I've got to highlight this because this wound me up earlier on. Danny Mills says we should all be grateful for the way we played in that second half. Have a look at this.
Well, obviously, with the sports bar, I'm sure there'll be lots of Chelsea fans talking about Thomas Tuchel and what's going to happen there. But surely we've got to hear from Newcastle fans. This second half display, the performance in the second half, do they really want Steve Bruce to be sacked off the back of that, even if they lose the game? I think they'd be mad if that's what they want. The players they've played for him, they've worked hard, they've created opportunities against a decent side. They just haven't had that little bit of luck or that little bit of quality.
Yeah, so that was Danny Mills. And if you disagree with Danny Mills, please hit that like button, because Steve Bruce needs to go. So if you agree with me and that Danny Mills needs to go, that is a massive thumbs up. 100% it is, because what the fuck is Danny Mills on about? And the pundits have been talking a little bit of sense on TalkSport of late, because they've all said that Bruce needs to go. Bruce needs to go. Loads of them the past 10 days or so, all saying Bruce has got to go. It's gone. But Danny Mills pops out the woodwork and says that Newcastle fans will be mad. Mad. We're mad, apparently, that we can relate on a half performance based on that we'd be mad that Steve Bruce would go because the players are playing for him. Did Steve Bruce see the last game? Did Danny Mills see the last game against Aston Villa when there was 3 or 4 players on their own, dejected, haven't got a fucking clue about the direction of this football that we play? So Danny Mills, hasn't got a fucking Scooby fucking do about Newcastle United. Do you know why? Because he doesn't watch one. You see 1 game a night. That's it. When's the next time that Danny Mills sees Newcastle United play? 2 months, perhaps, when he's next covering the game. Madness. Brandon, you're up next. Here he is.
Yeah, Lee, it was indeed a lot better. I agree. But I have to say it was against a weaker Leeds United side. They were not on that form as they, especially attacking-wise, as they normally are. We know they give away chances, but if Callum Wilson was a little bit more sharp, then we could have nicked a draw. I think it's most important we just have Bruce out of our club, nick up a result somewhere, but I don't see it happening next week against Everton. Okay, they played much better as they did to Arsenal. ASM shouldn't overdo himself and want too much. He's just pushing it too much, in my opinion. I have to say though, Shaw is a much better improvement from last week. He's pushing forward, actually creating some chances. Wilson could have been better. He's kind of disappointing me last couple of games, to be fair. The only way Bruce is going out is us going into a relegation battle.
Yeah, the only way that Bruce is going to go is in a relegation battle, which Brandon's probably spot on. But said this is very early on the start of the season. Bruce won't be sacked until after the transfer window's now closed, and we've only got what we're talking 5 more days to the window. Because actually not want to spend money on a new manager having a transfer kitty. But let's read out what you're saying. Get rid of Bruce, says Martin, before it's too late. Stephen asks Hayley, what's the odds of Sheffield United and 2 in the playoffs? Sheffield United to scrape through. Not sure what you mean, Stephen, on that. Maybe next season. I don't know. Bruce out, bud. We did all right. We did, Sean, in the second half. We did much better, but we need more of it. It's got to be a lot more. I'm not confident, and I don't trust Steve Bruce one bit for us to play like that next game. I'm just not. Fabian Shea is only good in a 3. Yeah, I would totally agree because he's got cover and he can go forward, but he was a massive threat tonight, Ben. 100%. He was the best midfielder, even though he wasn't even a midfielder at night, showing the midfield how to get forward from central positions. Surely if we lose on Everton's, Bruce has to go. We all want Bruce gone. It's just when do the boards do it? Because the way that it is, they will sack him eventually. Otherwise, we're going down, because Ashley will not want to hemorrhage money, because he likes to keep Newcastle ticking, because it's a nice little profit every time. And I know he wants to sell it, but you'll not get nowhere near half the value for in the Championship as well. Big game yet. Fulham do play, and I forgot to mention this as well, that Fulham do play a couple of relegation sides. They've got Brighton, and Fulham also got West Brom. So them 2 wins, I'll go back to that. I'll change my mind and say those 2 wins are very, very much on the cards for Fulham. So I didn't even realise that they had 2 relegation teams. So all eyes on Fulham Brighton tomorrow as well. Steve asked, are Leeds a decent side? Going forward, they are. Defensively, they're shocking. Going forward, they're brilliant to watch. They're a bit like us in the 90s, Kevin Keegan. But defensively, they're awful. They're absolutely shocking defensively. But going forward, they're absolutely brilliant. And John says, okay, maybe we performed well in the second half, but it doesn't change the crap that we've had God knows how many weeks, and we've still lost 2-1. Ben's not a big fan of Simon Jordan as well. Leeds were well below par tonight, and Newcastle still lost. Chris, totally agree. I don't think Leeds were brilliant second half, but you've got a manager who has a sense of direction. He's very high press in your face. You've got a quality. You play for the manager. We just change right back every week. We change with centre backs. We don't have a centre midfield partnership. We don't know who's out in the wing every game. So yeah, it's that Fulham plays okay, but they never seem to win. But they are picking up draws, Buster, and they're catching us slowly. That they couldn't catch them with. And if Brighton win, we go 17th as well. It's a tough one, doing it, because what do you want, a Brighton Fulham draw, or do you want Brighton to win? Because he definitely didn't want Fulham to win, but it's worrying. We'll have all eyes on that result tomorrow, of course, as well. We've got quite a few videos coming up as well this week. I'm going to be doing a bit of a tactic video with that whiteboard behind us. So that's going to be coming back. And also we've got another very much respected journalist coming on the channel as well this week. And of course, we've got the preview on Friday, and then we're going into the game with the Merseyside club on Saturday against Everton. Thank you very much. If you can, please smash that like button. That'll be fantastic. We've been going since 5 o'clock now, live. So yeah, that'll be much appreciated if you can do. Thank you very much, everyone, and we shall see you tomorrow for another video.